tail, I've got my trusty 5.5 millimeter hook with a foam grip. Got some Zeeman Royal Batik. It's a beautiful colorway, 100% acrylic, 100 grams. It's a 4-weight. It's a really nice yarn. I enjoy it a lot. It has a great colorway for granny squares. Let me show you how to do a traditional granny square. Put a slip knot on your hook and you do 4 chains. You go under 2 of the legs of the first chain stitch that you made, and you pull it through, and you pull it through all the way through. That's a slip knot. Now you turn your hook back into your loop. Gotta choke up a little on the yarn. There we go. Okay, so you have 2 yarns on your hook. Yarn over and pull through those 2 yarns. You go into the legs of the stitch. You've got 1 leg, 2 legs. You go in between them. And when you come out, you don't go all the way through. You only just catch that first loop of that back leg. So you're coming out in the middle of the side of the stitch. Okay, oops. It would work better if it all came through. Okay, so there it is. See? And then yarn over and pull through those 2. So you're just giving yourself stacked single crochets on top of each other. And you're just going to do 2 because your next stitch is a double crochet. And you just wanted to do those 2 stacked double crochets to get up to the level of that double crochet. So this counts as 2 double crochets. This will be the 3rd double crochet. Okay, 2 chains, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets. I'm also making sure that I catch this tail and put it over my hook so that I'm crocheting over the tail. Okay, this is the 2nd double crochet, and this is the 3rd double crochet. Okay, 2 chains. We're going to do 3 double crochets again into the same ring of 4 chains that we started with. Okay, so you've got 3 clusters of 3, and if it gets tight, see how it's starting to get tight, you just pull back a little bit and slide that stitch. But don't forget your 2 chains at the end of your cluster. I think the hardest part of learning crochet is yarn management. Where is it supposed to be? You know, in your hand, when you're the tails, all of that. It feels overwhelming, especially at first. Okay, so I've done my 3 double crochets, do my 2 chains, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of those stacked single crochets. Now, alternatively, you could have just done 3 chains to level up. I just, as a rule, don't do it. I don't do that. As much as I can, I avoid doing that. Okay, so now you're at the top corner where that first gap is going to be when you turn your work. Now turn it like a book. Don't turn it like this, because then your yarn is going to be in your way. Turn it this way from right to left, and then your yarn will be in the back. It won't be in your way. Okay, just like that. This is where we ended. Did our slip stitch. Turn it like that. The yarn is in the back. Now we have, let's get this string out of the way. Now we have this loop to work into. So don't do any chains or anything like that. Just go into the loop, yarn over and pull it through. Now you've got 2 loops on your hook. Just yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Go into the pants again. See that? Yarn over, pull through that loop. And then yarn over and pull through those 2 to finish the stacked single crochet. So now we're going to do 2 more double crochets. You count your stacked as the first double crochet. Pull it back around your loop, just yank it back. And then do 2 chains. Do 3 double crochets in that same corner space. Okay. Now you're going to go straight into the next corner space. You're just going to hop over this cluster. But before you do, just do 1 chain. That's it. Just 1 chain. The side gaps are 1 chain. Corners are 2, because you have to fit 2 clusters into those corners. Okay, so you just did the 1 double crochet into the corner. Do 2 more. Okay, you've done 3 double crochets. Do 2 chains because you're in the corner, and do 3 double crochets. So you're always going to do a cluster of 3 double crochets. That's the pattern. Okay, so now we're on the side. We're skipping over this 1 cluster. So just do one chain stitch. Now we're going into the corner, so we're going to do 2 clusters separated by 2 chains. So a cluster is 3 double crochets, and I'm using US terms. 2 chains, and then another cluster. Okay. 1 chain over this 1 cluster, and now we're going to do 2 clusters separated by 2 chains on this corner. Okay, and when you get to the beginning of where you started, I found that doing a chain and then doing a slip stitch seemed to make too much space. So I just go right into it and just do a slip stitch. I feel like that's enough space. Your mileage may vary. You may want to do that chain and then do a slip stitch, but that's how I do these sides. Okay, remember, turn your work like a book so that your yarn is in the back. We're going to start a cluster by going into the space directly below. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Go into the pants. Yarn over and pull that loop through, and then finish it. Okay, you've done 2 stacked single crochets. Finish by putting 2 more double crochets. This is your cluster. So we're going to go into the corner, so that means, so we're going over this cluster. It's 2 clusters in this corner space, separated by 2 single crochets. This is a very simple pattern that you can do. I did it last night practically in the dark when the power was out. So once you get this basic stitch down, you can do this pretty much anywhere. It's a good car trip project if you're not driving, obviously. It's great for Netflix. Okay, so here's that one stitch. Now you just do the one separating chain, because this is the next row, and you're going to end up adding more and more. Oh, it's got to be a double crochet. You're going to be adding more and more clusters in each row as you get bigger. And so whenever you're on a side, you just do one chain in between. That's it, just one chain. When you're on a corner, you do 2. So here's another one where you just do one chain in between because it's on the side. And now you're in the corner, so you do 2. 2 chains in between 2 clusters. So I did my 3, 2 chains, and then 3 more double crochets. One chain on a side cluster. One chain, and now we're on a corner, so it's 2 clusters separated by 2 chains. So here's the first cluster finished. I like to move it. Let's do 2 chains. Let's finish the cluster. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's your corner. 1 chain, and then to the side cluster. One chain, and now into the corner cluster, which is a cluster, 2 chains, and another cluster. Now, depending on how big you want to go, your sides, you'll have more clusters on the sides than you will in the corner. And this is a great use of variegated yarns or striping yarns. And remember, I don't do a single crochet in between here. You can if you want to. You can do a single crochet and then do the slip stitch. I don't. But there is a nice, I think this is a 4-inch granny square, which is not small, but not too big. These are nice. These are manageable. You can put them in a project bag, and you can keep making a bunch of these over and over and over again. You know, you just cut and pull your yarn. I am doing a continuous granny square here, so it is the same yarn, just you can see more of the color as it plays out. And I will show you what I'm doing with this project when I get closer to that. But I hope that you enjoyed these granny square basics, and a couple of tricks that I do as far as making a granny square. I turn my work at every row, and I use a stacked single crochet to level up. Let me know what you think. If you like the way this is shaping up, are you going to do a granny square project? These are great summer projects when it's still hot, but you're getting ready for the fall. That's why I picked this nice fall tonal color. I think it's going to make a beautiful project for the fall. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and crochet your way today, because it's the only time that we have.